What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mike Dolce Knows Show. Today, we're talking about Jorge Gamebred Masvidal's recent arrest for what might be a serious felony charge, facing up to 15 years in prison for his alleged attack of Colby Chaos Covington. If those two names sound familiar to you, well, they should, because they just fought less than 2 weeks ago as the main event inside the UFC octagon. Now, I'm going to break down exactly what happened and discuss some of the ramifications. Also, some really weird words shared by Khabib Nurmagomedov, now retired, undefeated former UFC lightweight champion, said something insane. And also, Tyron Woodley, former UFC welterweight champion. Both of these takes are just terrible takes. I'm going to break that down. But first, consider subscribing to this channel, also leaving comments below, giving the video a thumbs up. All of your interaction will help this channel to grow, and I appreciate you guys for being here. Briefly, let's break down the story for you. Let me minimize myself so I can read this. This comes from MMA Junkie, by the way. Jorge Masvidal arrested, faces 2 charges after alleged Colby Covington altercation in Miami. I'm briefly going to run through this real quick for you, and then I'm going to share some thoughts. Masvidal has been arrested less than 48 hours after he engaged in an alleged altercation with UFC rival Colby Covington. Masvidal was detained by Miami Beach police Wednesday evening and booked at 10:27 p.m. local time. Masvidal faces 2 charges. Now, this is important. 1 count of aggravated battery resulting in great bodily harm, and 1 count of criminal mischief in Florida. Now, listen here. An aggravated battery charge can be elevated from a second-degree felony offense to a first-degree felony offense if the alleged offender, Masvidal, wore a hood, mask, or other device that concealed his or her identity. Now, all the witnesses, Colby Covington's testimony, have all stated that Masvidal allegedly Masvidal, but Masvidal recently came out and admitted it. He posted about it, took, recognition for the altercation publicly. So I don't even know why we're saying alleged, but we'll keep saying alleged for now. Masvidal also allegedly had a face mask on and a hood on. This is a serious situation. Now, because Masvidal, by his own doing, elevated a serious criminal offense to a second-degree felony to a first-degree felony offense. And let me read this a little further for you. He was subsequently released on a $15,000 bond. Now here, if found guilty, Masvidal could face up to 15 years in prison and or a $10,000 fine for second-degree felony, aggravated battery with additional penalties from the criminal mischief charge. But for the first-degree felony aggravated battery charge for allegedly concealing his identity, the potential penalty is as much as 30 years. 30 years. Doubled because he wore the mask, he wore the hood. This is serious, guys and gals out there. This is serious. And this goes on to discuss a little bit more about the report. Also, some damages done. What Covington said, his statement was that the police report states that officers responded to a battery call outside the restaurant at 10:54 p.m. local time. There, they met the victim who fractured a tooth and suffered a wrist abrasion, alleging Masvidal ran up from his left and punched him twice in the face, once in the mouth and once in the left eye upon leaving the restaurant. Masvidal allegedly said, "You shouldn't have been talking about my kids." The victim described a group of 3 or 4 other unknown males approaching him in an aggressive manner. Police said at that point, the victim, which is allegedly Covington, pushed one of the unknown away and separated himself, called the police. The arrest affidavit publicly states that the victim reported $15,000 in damages to a $90,000 Rolex, which he was allegedly wearing, that was scratched. Masvidal was booked with visible injury and stitches on his right hand that occurred prior to police contact. And this goes on to finally say the alleged incident came 16 days after Covington fought Masvidal for 5 rounds, and got blown out. If anybody saw this fight, you guys know Masvidal got blown out. Colby dominated Masvidal for 25 full minutes. All the buildup, all the hype, all the trash talk, all the bickering, all the back and forth. And what happened? Covington beat up Masvidal for 25 full minutes. 16 days later, Masvidal is tracking down Covington in a restaurant and runs up behind him and sucker punches him. Now, I will stop here and say all of my interactions with Masvidal have been good. I have nothing bad to say in my own relationship with Jorge Masvidal. I always enjoyed the company. We always had good time. We always had laughs. We talked about food and training and all this other fun stuff. I never had an issue with Masvidal. He was a likable guy. Covington, he's a likable guy too. I have no negative thing to say about Covington on a personal realm. Now, their public persona, the avatar that they display for you, for the media, for the fans to prop up this bravado, well, this is where I do disagree with a lot of what they do. But now I wanted to, speaking of disagreeing, I want to show you something else and read it briefly and just get your take on it here, because I'm kind of disgusted with what they're saying. So Khabib Nurmagomedov, Colby says, let me just go to Khabib's statement here. Khabib says, if you are stronger than someone inside the octagon, it does not mean you can insult his children. No one has the right to insult someone's family. Once you have gone down the path, then be ready to back up your words. You are attacked by a professional fighter, the same as you are, your own size, and you go to press charges against him to the police. I think all welterweights should refuse to fight Colby. Just don't accept fights with him. Let him sit out without a fight. It will probably significantly affect him and all fighters who even think of insulting families, who is provoking the fighters to look for someone in restaurants to deal with. Well, I got to say something. Straightforward to Khabib, who I like. Conor McGregor talks so much shit about Khabib personally, about Khabib's family, about Khabib's country, about Khabib's religion. Conor McGregor said such horrible, mean, nasty, terrible things about Khabib, and Khabib did nothing other than fight him in the octagon and then moved on with his life. So I wonder why, and I ask Khabib very directly, why is your standard different from Masvidal's? Why is it okay for you to not engage, to not defend the honor that you feel is the right of Masvidal? But why did you not? If you feel so strongly, why did you not get on a plane and fly to Dublin, Ireland, and walk into the Black Swan bar that Conor owns and punch him in the face? Because, and I like Khabib, because Khabib follows decorum and civility, right? Khabib is smart enough to know that he's not going to put himself into a felonious position that could rob his family of 15 to 30 years of time spent with him. So why would Khabib be supporting the criminal activity of any athlete or any individual when he himself suffered far greater injury at the mouth of Conor McGregor, right? Conor McGregor talked so much smack about Khabib. Khabib beat him in the octagon, washed his hands, and walked away. But now he's saying that what Masvidal had done was somehow justified. Let me say it clear and say it directly. Criminal activity is not justified. We live in a society of laws and rules. No human can walk into a public place and punch another human in the face, period. The end. The end. That's the end of the conversation. To Masvidal, to Khabib, to Tyron Woodley, and let's briefly talk about Tyron Woodley here because, let me see, Woodley doesn't even pop up in the searches right now, but Tyron Woodley had come out and said, if Covington presses charges against Masvidal, then Covington is a hoe. What, dude? Now, I like Woodley too. I like all these guys. I completely disagree with their childish statements. Now, think about this. Covington is a multimillionaire. Masvidal, multi-millionaire. Khabib, multimillionaire. Woodley, multimillionaire. These are multimillionaires who have profited off of organized, societal, civilized culture, but then when it suits them, they claim, well, I'm from the streets. No, dog. No, dog. You're not. You're not from the fucking streets. You're not fucking Scarface, right? You're not Scarface. You are just a dude who got beat up and your ego's hurt. And I get that. We all get fucking beat up in life and our egos get hurt and we get mad and we get vengeful. But real men move on. Real men move on. Real men do not sucker punch other citizens in public places where other families are sitting enjoying their fucking life. So I say, shame on you, Masvidal. There's other better ways to go and get your vengeance. How about you get back into the UFC, you pick up another win, and then the UFC rebooks you and Colby, no problem giving you 25 more minutes to take his fucking career from him. But a cheap shot in a fucking restaurant with a bunch of your boys, that's weak, man. You know that's weak. That is cowardice. If you were real, you would have face-to-faced him. How about this? If Masvidal wanted true justice, he knows that Colby Covington trains at MMA Masters in Miami. Masvidal would have shown up in the parking lot and said, Covington, come outside. Dude, let's settle this right now in the fucking parking lot. If Masvidal was the man he says he was, he would have face-to-faced him. 10 paces at high noon, motherfucker. Let's meet in the parking lot and settle this shit. But he didn't. He opted to wear, allegedly, a mask and a hoodie and sneak in a restaurant where other families were trying to enjoy their night and runs up and sneak punches Covington. Is there honor in that, Khabib? Is there honor in that, Woodley? Who's the hoe? Who's the hoe? That's my take on this. What do you guys think? Leave comments below this video. I want to hear what you think about this. And it's all bullshit. Be a fucking grown-up. Go about your life. Be a good example. And the last piece, how about this? You want to see what bullshit all of this is? Let me show you all the bullshit real quick. Look at this. This story. Masvidal arrested. Look at this. Khabib talking about blacklisting Covington because Masvidal acted like a fucking criminal. right? Conor McGregor arrested allegedly for drunk driving to the point of being dangerous and reckless over in fucking Dublin. You want to talk about an entitled bunch of assholes? Go to fucking MMA Junkie news page and look at these entitled fucking millionaire asshole children acting like little fucking spoiled babies. All of you guys, be a grown fucking man and handle your business. Be someone your children can be proud of. Be the neighbor that your neighbors want to live next to. Is it so hard to be an upstanding member of the society? Is it so hard? No, it's not fucking hard, because millions of us do it every day, and we fucking laugh at you and your false sense of machoism. You're not fucking tough. You're not fucking macho because you have the hand-eye coordination to land a 1-2 punch. It does not mean you are a good person. It does not mean you are entitled to break laws and harm societal norms, putting the world at risk. Now, how about this? Khabib. So you say, hey, Masvidal, what he did was justified. So now what happens, Khabib? If Covington does not press charges and end this, what happens? Covington, then he has to retaliate. And he will be justified by Khabib's criteria in retaliation. So the next retaliation is what? Does Covington crash his car into Masvidal's car? Does Covington come back wearing brass knuckles? Does Covington show up at Masvidal's house in the middle of the night and jump him with a baseball bat? What is the next logical step of escalation here? You know what the next logical step of escalation is? The justice system. That's the logical, that is the best possible end right now to stop the bullshit. Does somebody have to get stabbed? Does somebody have to get shot for this to end? Street justice. Street justice. Get the fuck out of here with this bullshit. Entitled millionaires running around acting like children. This is not street justice, right? So don't believe the bullshit fucking hype. It's not street justice. This is entitled millionaires acting like little fucking children. That's all I got to say. What do you guys have to say about it? Please leave your comments below this video. Thank you for being here once again. And until next time.